Don't you dare walk away from me now. Her voice shattered across the hospital corridor, raw and bleeding. Nurses turned. Machines beeped. Somewhere a child cried. He froze. Hand on the door, shoulders rigid beneath his $1,000 suit. You want the truth? She was shaking now, tears streaming, mascara ruined. You want to know why I never told you? He turned slowly. His face was stone. But his eyes, God, his eyes were breaking. Because, she whispered, choking on the words, I knew you'd never believe me. I knew you'd think I was just another woman trying to trap you. But that little girl in there, the one fighting for her life right now. She stepped closer, voice dropping to something deadly. She's yours. She's always been yours. And I've been raising her alone for 6 years while you looked right through me like I was nothing. The heart monitor flatlined in the distance. Someone screamed. And for the first time in his perfectly controlled life, Callum Drake, billionaire, CEO, untouchable titan, fell to his knees. Before this goes any further, if you've ever believed in taking a chance on someone, in choosing hard over comfort, please stay with us. Subscribing, liking, or sharing this story isn't about supporting a channel. It's about standing behind stories that remind us who we are. If that matters to you, even a little, stay. 6 years earlier, Miami, Florida. Reyna Torres knew what it felt like to be a ghost. She worked the early morning shift at Whole Foods in Brickell, stocking organic produce and ringing up green juices for people who spent more on breakfast than she made in a week. At 23, she was sharp, funny, and exhausted, putting herself through night classes at Miami-Dade College while sending money home to her mom in Little Havana. She had dreams once, big ones, but dreams didn't pay rent. It was a Tuesday when he walked in. Tall, tailored charcoal suit, the kind of face that belonged on magazine covers. Sharp jawline, dark hair slightly mussed like he'd been running his hands through it. He moved through the store with the quiet confidence of someone who'd never been told no in his life. Callum Drake. Reyna knew who he was. Everyone in Miami did. Tech billionaire. Founder of Drake Innovations. 31 years old and worth more than some small countries. He stopped at her register with a single item, black coffee. Good morning, Reyna said, scanning it with a smile. That'll be $4.50. He didn't look at her, just tapped his black card, grabbed the coffee, and walked out. No, thank you. No acknowledgement. Just nothing. Reyna watched him go, something small and sharp twisting in her chest. That's fine, she thought. You're used to being invisible. But he kept coming back. Every Tuesday and Thursday. Same time. Same order. Black coffee. No sugar. Reyna always rang him up. Always smiled. Always said, have a great day. He never responded. Never even made eye contact. After 3 months, her co-worker Jasmine nudged her. Girl, why do you even bother? He's a robot. Reyna shrugged. Maybe he's just having a rough time. Jasmine snorted. Rough time? He's a billionaire. Money doesn't mean you're happy, Reyna said quietly. She didn't know why she defended him. Maybe because she recognized something in his eyes, that hollow, distant look of someone going through the motions. She knew that look. She saw it in the mirror every morning. It was late October when everything shifted. Reyna's shift ended at 10 p.m. She was walking to the bus stop, backpack heavy with textbooks, when she heard it. Shouting, glass breaking, a woman screaming. She turned the corner and saw him, Callum Drake, pressed against a wall by 3 men. One had a gun. Wallet. Phone. Now. The gunman snarled. Callum's face was calm. Too calm. Like he didn't care what happened next. Reyna's heart hammered. She should run. Call 911. Do anything but what she did next. Hey, she shouted, stepping into the alley. Police are coming. I already called. It was a bluff. A stupid, reckless bluff. The men turned. The gunman's eyes narrowed. You lying? Try me, Reyna said, voice steadier than she felt. She held up her phone, finger hovering over the screen. They're 2 minutes out. You want to wait around? The men exchanged looks. Then they bolted. Reyna's knees nearly gave out. She turned to Callum. who was staring at her like she'd just materialized out of thin air. "Are you okay?" she asked, breathless. He blinked. You didn't call the police." "No," she admitted. But they didn't know that. For the first time in 6 months, Callum Drake really looked at her. "You work at the store," he said slowly. "You're the checkout girl." Something in Reyna's chest cracked. "Checkout girl." "Reyna," she corrected quietly. "My name is Reyna." He nodded, still staring. "Why did you do that?" "Because it was the right thing to do," she said simply. "Are you hurt?" "No. He stopped, ran a hand through his hair. "I'm fine. Thank you." Reyna nodded. "Okay, good. I should go." She started to walk away. "Wait." She turned. Callum stepped forward, something uncertain in his eyes. Can I at least give you a ride home? It's late." Reyna hesitated. Every instinct screamed bad idea, but she was tired. The bus wouldn't come for another 40 minutes. And despite everything, she didn't think he'd hurt her. "Okay," she said. His car was a matte black Aston Martin. Reyna slid into the passenger seat, suddenly hyper-aware of her Whole Foods uniform and worn sneakers. They drove in silence for a while. Then, "You saved my life tonight," Callum said quietly. "I don't know about that," Reyna replied. I didn't want to see something bad happen. Most people would have walked away." "Maybe," Reyna said, "but I'm not most people." He glanced at her, something shifting in his expression. "No, you're not." When they reached her apartment, a small complex in Alapata, Reyna unbuckled her seatbelt. "Thanks for the ride." "Reyna," he said, and hearing her name in his voice felt strange. "Electric. I mean it." "Thank you." She smiled. "You're welcome, Callum." She got out, didn't look back, but she felt his eyes on her the whole way to her door. Some moments carve themselves into your bones, the ones where you choose to stop, to act, to be seen. Reyna didn't know that single moment of courage would unravel everything, and neither did he. If you've ever been that person, the one who stepped in when no one else would, or if you've ever wished someone had stopped for you, stay. Because what comes next will shatter you in ways you won't see coming. After that night, things changed. Callum started coming to Whole Foods more often, and this time he talked. "How are your classes going?" he asked one morning. Reyna blinked. Surprised, he remembered. "Good. Tough, but good." "What are you studying?" "Business administration," she said. "I want to open my own place someday. A cafe, maybe. Something that feels like home." Callum nodded slowly. "That's a good dream." "What about you?" Reyna asked. "Did you always want to build a tech empire?" He smiled barely. "No, I want to be a musician." Reyna's eyebrows shot up. "Seriously?" "Piano," he admitted. "But my father had other plans." There was something heavy in his voice. Something sad. "Do you still play?" Reyna asked softly. "Not in years." "You should," she said. "Life's too short to ignore the things that make you feel alive." Callum looked at her for a long moment. "You're right." 2 weeks later, he asked her to coffee. Not at Whole Foods. At a small Cuban cafe in Little Havana, her neighborhood. Reyna almost said no. This was dangerous territory. He was a billionaire. She was a checkout girl, his words, not hers. This wouldn't end well. But something in his eyes made her say yes. They sat outside, the late afternoon sun painting the streets gold. "Why did you agree to come?" Callum asked, stirring his cortadito. Reyna shrugged. "Honestly, I'm not sure. Maybe because you finally learned my name." He winced. "I was an ass." "Yeah," Reyna said. "You were." "I'm sorry." She looked at him, surprised by the sincerity. Apology accepted. They talked for hours. About everything. His childhood in Boston, cold, controlled, lonely. Her upbringing in Miami, loud, chaotic, full of love. His fear of never being enough. Her fear of staying stuck forever. "You're not stuck," Callum said. "You're one of the most driven people I've ever met." Reyna laughed. "You barely know me." "I know enough," he said quietly. "I know you risked your life for a stranger." I know you work 2 jobs and go to school. I know you smile at everyone, even when they don't deserve it. Reyna's throat tightened. Why are you saying this? Because, Callum said, leaning forward, I've spent 6 months walking past you, and I was too blind to see what was right in front of me. Her heart hammered. Callum, I want to see you again, he said. Not at the store. Not as whatever this was. I want to know you, Reyna. Really know you. She should have said no. Should have protected herself. But when he looked at her like that, like she was the only thing in the world that mattered, she couldn't. Okay, she whispered. The next 3 months were a dream. Callum took her to art galleries in Wynwood, late-night drives down Ocean Drive, quiet dinners where they talked until the restaurants closed. He was different when it was just them, softer, funnier, more real. He told her about the pressure of running a billion-dollar company at 31, the expectations, the loneliness. Everyone wants something from me, he admitted one night on the beach. Money, connections, power. But with you, you just want to know me. Reyna smiled. Is that so hard to believe? Yes, he said honestly, because no one ever has before. She reached for his hand. Well, I do. He kissed her then, slow, deep, like he was memorizing her. And Reyna fell. Hard. But she didn't tell him she loved him, because deep down she knew the truth. This was temporary. A beautiful, fragile bubble that would pop the moment reality crashed in. It happened on New Year's Eve. Callum invited her to a gala. Black tie, Miami's elite, the works. Reyna didn't belong. She knew at the moment she walked in, wearing a borrowed dress, surrounded by women in couture and men in power. Callum held her hand the whole night, introduced her to investors, colleagues, friends. But she saw the looks, the whispers, the judgment. Who is she? Where did he find her? She's clearly after his money. Reyna excused herself to the bathroom, fighting tears. That's when she overheard them. 2 women by the sinks, reapplying lipstick. Did you see her? Callum's new girlfriend. One laughed. She works at a grocery store. The other gasped. You're kidding. Nope. I looked her up. No pedigree. No money. She's probably pregnant or something, trapping him. Reyna's blood went cold. She walked out. Found Callum. I need to leave. What? Why? Please, she said, voice cracking. Just take me home. In the car, he asked what happened. Nothing. Reyna lied. Reyna, I don't belong in your world, Callum, she said quietly. I never will. That's not true, isn't it? She turned to him, tears streaming. You're a billionaire. I'm a checkout girl. People will think I'm using you. They already do. I don't care what people think. But I do, Reyna whispered. Because one day, you'll start to wonder too. And I can't. Her voice broke. I can't survive that. Callum pulled over, cupped her face. Listen to me. I love you. I don't care where you work or where you came from. I care about you. Reyna's breath hitched. You love me? Yes, he said fiercely. I love you, Reyna Torres. And I'm not letting you go. She kissed him. Hard. Desperately. I love you too. That night, they made love for the first time. Slow. Tender. Like they were the only 2 people in the world. And for a moment, Reyna let herself believe it could last. 2 weeks later, everything fell apart. Callum's father, Richard Drake, the ruthless patriarch who built the family empire, demanded a meeting. You're making a fool of yourself, Richard said coldly. This girl is a distraction, a liability. She's not a distraction, Callum shot back. She's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Richard leaned forward. Then let me make this simple. You marry her, and I pull every investor. I dismantle everything we've built. You'll have nothing. Callum's jaw tightened. You wouldn't. Try me? Callum didn't tell Reyna about the meeting. He should have. But he was drowning in board meetings, investor calls, PR disasters. His father was making good on his threats. Quietly, strategically, and Callum started pulling away. Missed dates. Ignored calls. Stayed late at the office. Reyna noticed. "Are you okay?" she asked one night, curled up on his couch. "Fine," he said, not looking up from his laptop. "Callum." "I said I'm fine, Reyna." His voice was sharp. She flinched. He didn't apologize. Then she missed her period. At first, Reyna thought it was stress. School. Work. The tension with Callum. But when she took the test, 3 tests, and saw those 2 pink lines, her world tilted. Pregnant. She was pregnant. With Callum Drake's baby. She told him that night. He was in his office, staring at spreadsheets. "Callum," she said, voice shaking. "We need to talk. Can it wait?" "No," he sighed. Looked up. "What is it?" Reyna's hands trembled. "I'm pregnant." Silence. Long, suffocating. Silence. Then, "Are you sure?" "Yes." "Is it mine?" The question was a knife. Reyna stared at him, tears burning. "What did you just say?" Callum's face was unreadable. "I need to know if it's mine." "Get out," she whispered. "Reyna, get out." She screamed it, sobbed it. "I saved your life. I loved you. And you think I'd—" She couldn't finish. Callum stood. "I didn't mean—" "Yes, you did," Reyna said, voice breaking. "You meant it. Because deep down, you think I'm exactly what everyone said I was. A gold digger. A trap. That's not true. Then why did you ask?" She stepped closer, shaking with rage and heartbreak. "Why did you look at me like I'm nothing?" Callum said nothing, and that silence broke her. "Leave," Reyna whispered, "and don't come back." He left, and Reyna collapsed on the floor, sobbing until she couldn't breathe. There are words you can never take back. Questions that cut so deep, they sever the very thing you're trying to hold on to. Callum didn't know what he'd just destroyed, and Reyna didn't know how she'd survive it. If you've ever been asked to prove your worth to someone who was supposed to know you, if you've ever felt that specific kind of betrayal, then you know this pain isn't fictional. It's universal. Stay, because the truth Callum learns will break him, and it will break you too. Reyna disappeared. She quit Whole Foods, blocked Callum's number, moved back in with her mom in Little Havana, and she made a decision. She would raise this baby alone, because she refused to beg, refused to prove herself, refused to be the woman everyone thought she was. Callum tried to find her. For weeks, he called, texted, showed up at her apartment. She'd already moved. At the store, she quit. She was gone, and he told himself it was for the best. His father was pleased. Investors returned. The company stabilized. But at night, alone in his penthouse, Callum lay awake and thought about her. "You think I'm nothing." He hadn't meant it. God, he hadn't. But he'd said it, and he couldn't take it back. 6 months later, a text came through from an unknown number. She was born today. Her name is Luna. She's perfect, and she's mine. Don't contact me again. A photo followed. A tiny baby with dark hair and Reyna's eyes. Callum stared at it for hours. Then he deleted the message and hated himself for it. 6 years later, Austin, Texas. Callum had relocated to Austin after expanding Drake Innovations. He was richer, more successful, more miserable. He dated occasionally, models, socialites, women his father approved of, but none of them were her. None of them made him feel alive. It was a Saturday morning when he walked into H-E-B on South Congress. He didn't usually shop for himself, but his assistant was out and he needed coffee. He was in the cereal aisle when he heard it. "Mama, can we get the one with the marshmallows?" A little girl's voice. Sweet, bright. "Not today, baby," a woman replied. "But how about we get your favorite strawberries?" "Okay." Callum turned and froze. Reyna, 6 years older. Hair longer. Still beautiful, but harder somehow. Worn. And beside her, a little girl with dark curls and eyes the exact color of his. Luna, his daughter. Reyna didn't see him. She was laughing with Luna, comparing strawberries, completely unaware. Callum's chest tightened. He couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. That's my daughter. He'd known logically. But seeing them was different. It was real, and it was everything he'd destroyed. He followed them at a distance, watched as Reyna checked out, paid in cash, carefully counted her change, watched as Luna skipped beside her, chattering about her upcoming school play. I'm going to be a star, Mama. You already are, Mija, Reyna said softly. Callum's throat burned. He should leave, should walk away. But his feet carried him forward. Reyna. She stopped, turned, and the color drained from her face. Callum. Luna looked up at him, curious. Who's that, Mama? Reyna's jaw tightened. No one, baby. Let's go. Wait. Callum stepped forward. Please, can we talk? No. Reyna, I said no. Her voice was ice. You made your choice 6 years ago. Don't you dare. I made a mistake, Callum said desperately. The biggest mistake of my life. Please, just 5 minutes. Reyna stared at him, then at Luna, then back at him. Luna, baby, can you wait in the car? I'll be right there. Okay. Luna skipped off. Reyna waited until she was out of earshot. Then she turned to Callum, eyes blazing. You have 2 minutes. I'm sorry, Callum said, for everything. For what I said, for not believing you, for abandoning us. Reyna cut in. For not fighting for her? I didn't know you'd keep her, Callum said quietly. Of course I kept her. Reyna's voice cracked. She's my daughter. She's our daughter. And you. Tears filled her eyes. You asked me if she was yours. Like I was some liar, some opportunist. I know. I was scared. My father, the pressure. It doesn't matter. I was wrong. You destroyed me, Callum. Reyna whispered. I loved you, and you looked at me like I was nothing. You're not nothing, Callum said fiercely. You're everything. You always were. Then why didn't you come for me? She asked, voice breaking. I waited. For weeks. Months. I thought you'd. She stopped. But you didn't. I was a coward, Callum admitted, and I regretted it every single day. Reyna wiped her eyes. It's too late, Callum. Please, he said, let me meet her. Let me be part of her life. Why? Reyna demanded. So you could decide 6 years from now that we're not worth it again? No, Callum said, because I've spent 6 years living half a life, and I don't want to waste another second. Reyna stared at him. Then, she doesn't know who you are, and if you hurt her, if you break her heart, I will destroy you, billionaire or not. I won't, Callum promised. I swear. Reyna nodded slowly. 1 chance. That's all you get. Over the next month, Callum met Luna. Slowly, carefully, they went to parks, museums, got ice cream. Luna was smart, funny, fearless, just like her mother. And Callum fell in love all over again, not just with her, but with the life he'd missed. But Reyna kept her distance. She let him see Luna, but she wouldn't let him back in. I'm protecting her, she told him one evening after he dropped Luna off. From what? Callum asked. From you, Reyna said quietly. From the world you come from. The one that chews people like us up and spits us out. Reyna, good night, Callum. Then Luna got sick. It started with a fever, then fatigue, then bruising. Reyna rushed her to Dell Children's Medical Center. The diagnosis came fast. Acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Reyna's world shattered. She called Callum from the hospital. Voice wrecked. She needs treatment. Chemotherapy. And she broke. I can't afford it. My insurance won't cover it all. I don't know what to do. I'm coming, Callum said immediately. Right now. And Reyna? We'll figure this out. I promise. He arrived 30 minutes later. Found Reyna in the waiting room, head in her hands. Where is she? He asked. Room 304, Reyna whispered. She's asking for you. Callum's heart broke. He went to her room. Found Luna in a hospital bed, pale and small, hooked up to IVs. Mr. Callum, she said, smiling weakly. He sat beside her, holding her tiny hand. Hey, superstar, how are you feeling? Tired, she admitted. But Mama says I'm going to be okay. You are, Callum said, voice thick. I promise. Luna looked at him with those big, familiar eyes. Are you my daddy? Callum froze. Luna, Mama said you were. Luna continued. She said you had to be away, but that you loved me. Callum's vision blurred. I do. I love you so much. Then why did you leave? That question, simple, innocent, devastating, is the one that breaks every parent who's ever made the wrong choice. Why did you leave? Callum didn't have an answer, not one that mattered. But he had something else, a chance to make it right. If you've ever had to face the consequences of a choice you can't undo, or if you've ever given someone a second chance they didn't deserve, leave a comment. Tell me what you'd do, because this story, it's not just Callum's. It's all of ours. Callum paid for everything. The treatments, the specialists, the best care money could buy. But more than that, he stayed. Every appointment, every sleepless night, every moment Luna cried or Reyna broke down. Callum was there. You don't have to do this, Reyna said one night in the hospital corridor. Yes, I do, Callum replied. I've missed 6 years. I'm not missing another second. Reyna's eyes filled with tears. I'm scared, Callum. Me too, he admitted. But we're not doing this alone. Not anymore. He reached for her hand, and this time she didn't pull away. Luna's treatment was brutal. Months of chemotherapy, hair loss, pain, fear, but she fought. God, she fought. And Callum and Reyna fought with her. Somewhere along the way, they became a family. Not perfect, not easy, but real. One night, after Luna fell asleep, Reyna found Callum on the hospital roof, staring at the Austin skyline. She's gonna make it, Reyna said quietly, sitting beside him. I know, Callum said. She's the strongest person I've ever met, just like her mom. Reyna smiled faintly. I'm not strong. I'm terrified. You're both, Callum said. He turned to her. Reyna, I know I don't deserve it, but I need you to know I love you. I never stopped. And if you'll let me, I want to spend the rest of my life proving it. Reyna's breath hitched. Callum, I'm not asking you to forgive me, he said. I'm asking you to let me try. Every day, for as long as it takes. Tears streamed down her face. You broke my heart. I know. I don't know if I can trust you again. I'll earn it, Callum promised. Every single day. Reyna looked at him. This man who'd ignored her, hurt her, abandoned her. And she saw something different now. Someone who'd grown, who'd changed, who'd shown up when it mattered most. Okay, she whispered, but you screw this up and I'm gone. I won't, Callum said. I swear. He kissed her, soft, desperate, full of promises. And Reyna let herself believe again. 6 months later, Luna went into remission. The doctors called it a miracle. Reyna called it answered prayers. Callum called it the greatest gift of his life. Luna's hair grew back in soft curls. Her energy returned. Her laugh, God, her laugh, filled every room again. We did it, Mama, she said, spinning in the hospital room on her last day. I beat the bad stuff. You sure did, baby, Reyna said, crying and smiling at the same time. Callum knelt beside Luna. You're the bravest person I know. Luna hugged him tight. Thank you for staying, Daddy. Callum's throat closed. I'll never leave again. I promise. That night, Callum took Reyna and Luna to the top of Mount Bonnell overlooking Austin. The sunset painted the sky in golds and purples. Why are we here? Reyna asked. Callum turned to her, something nervous in his eyes. Then he knelt. Reyna's hands flew to her mouth. Reyna Torres, Callum said, voice shaking. 6 years ago, I was the stupidest man alive. I let fear and pride destroy the best thing that ever happened to me. But you gave me a second chance. You let me fight for our daughter. For us. and I will spend the rest of my life being the man you both deserve. He pulled out a ring. Simple, beautiful, perfect. Will you marry me? Luna gasped. Say yes, Mama. Say yes. Reyna laughed through her tears. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Callum slipped the ring on her finger and kissed her like his life depended on it. Luna squealed and jumped into their arms. And for the first time in 6 years, they were whole. 2 years later, Miami, Florida. Callum and Reyna stood in front of a brand new building in Little Havana. Luna's place, a community cafe and resource center. Reyna's dream, finally real. Inside, fresh coffee, homemade pastries, job training programs, free tutoring for kids. You did it, Callum said, arm around her waist. We did it, Reyna corrected. This is for everyone who feels invisible, who thinks they don't matter. Callum kissed her temple. You changed my life, Reyna. You and Luna. I was a ghost before you. And now, she asked, smiling, now I'm alive. Luna, now 8 and cancer-free, ran through the cafe, laughing with other kids. Daddy, Mama, come see. They followed her to a wall covered in photos, community members, families, stories. And in the center, a photo of Reyna, Callum, and Luna, smiling, together. Home. This is us, Luna said proudly. Our family. Callum picked her up, kissing her cheek. Best family in the world. Reyna leaned into him, heart full. Thank you, she whispered. For what? For coming back. For fighting. For proving that people can change. Callum looked at her, this woman who'd save him in more ways than one. No, he said quietly. Thank you. For seeing me when no one else did. For giving me a reason to be better. They kissed, and somewhere in the warm Miami sun, surrounded by laughter and love and second chances, they built the life they'd almost lost. 5 years later, Luna, 13, stood on stage at her middle school talent show. This song, she said into the microphone, is for my mom and dad, who taught me that love isn't perfect, but it's worth fighting for. She began to play piano, a skill Callum had taught her. In the audience, Reyna held Callum's hand, tears streaming. She's incredible, Callum whispered. She gets it from you, Reyna said. She gets it from us. And as Luna's music filled the auditorium, Callum thought back to that rainy night in Miami, when a woman in a Whole Foods uniform risked everything to save a stranger. He'd ignored her for months, hurt her, lost her, but she'd given him something no amount of money could buy. A second chance, a family, a life worth living. This is a story about the things we miss when we stop looking, about the love we destroy when we let fear win, and about the people who save us, even when we don't deserve it. If this story reminded you why second chances matter, why love is worth fighting for, and why we should never ignore the people right in front of us, then it did exactly what it was meant to do. Callum learned the truth too late, but he learned it, and that made all the difference. If this story touched you in any way, if it made you feel something, pause for a moment, or see life a little differently, please don't let it end here. These stories take heart, time, and care to create, and your support is what keeps them alive. Subscribing, liking, or sharing isn't just a click. It's a quiet way of saying this mattered. If you believe stories like this deserve to be told, please stay with us.